Hey everyone, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Well, kind of today, not just per se one anime review. This is actually going to be a very interesting grouping I think of reviews I'm gonna be doing today. But first and foremost, guys and girls, if you notice my audio quality probably doesn't sound as good because I'm not using my studio microphone. I'm using an actual headset microphone, so it sounds a little. I've always noticed it's only a little different. Like you just hear a little more background noise and stuff like that. But it's not a big deal. I'm just getting an item today that actually is gonna make it sound a lot better, and it will be a little bit like where I can actually set up a little differently because the current setup I had was so bad that it was bothering me to keep using it that way. So I finally just gave up with it. I don't want to do it anymore. But it will, I won't be using this microphone once that comes in. You won't have to worry about that anymore. Anyways, so I'm gonna hope I pronounce his name correctly. I apologize in advance, man, if I don't pronounce your name right. Neil Hagen or Hagen. I'm gonna say it's one of those two. Told me in one of my Evangelion reviews about a kind of short thing that they kept doing. They did 3 shorts that are different Evangelion shorts that were shown during Studio Kara's Japanimator Expo. So I never heard of them before, and I'm a huge Evangelion fan, so I was like, wow, I'm gonna go check these out. And I'll tell you guys and girls, they're very interesting. I'm not gonna spoil them in case you guys want to watch them because I think combined total wise, you're looking at maybe 10 minutes of actual individual things in total, because each one's like relatively like only 4 minutes long. One of them is the longest one, that's 7 minutes, but I mean for the most part, if it's not, maybe it's 10 to 15 minutes realistically. So it's a really short, these things are all short, but they actually speak volumes and they're pretty cool. I mean, they all have different things and I just like them. And I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end of each one. I'm going to talk about what my thoughts were on them, but I want you guys to watch them, so this way if they exist, I want you get that. Anyways, the first one that we're going to start off with is, I'm putting this order most of what I've watched them in. The first one we're going to start off with is Until You Come to Me, which is a short, it's non-spoken. There's music playing in the background. I think it's Danny Boy. That music's playing in the background, and what you see is a bunch of imagery, and this takes place actually at the end of Evangelion 3.33. I forget, is it You Cannot Redo or You Cannot Advance? No, You Cannot Advance is the first one. You Cannot Redo, you Are Not Alone. I think it's You Are Not Alone, so this one takes place after that. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of which one it was, and I felt I should have looked it up, but it's alright. But anyways, so it takes place after the end of 3.33, and it shows essentially Shinji looking at his background, and you see the devastation caused by the impact. And the impact really, really caused a lot of crap. I mean, this is just, it's mortifying that you see houses askew. You see, of course, it almost looks like the whole world was bathed in blood. And that is the creepiest imagery ever. And essentially all you see is this weird imagery of Shinji. You see imagery of Rei apparently at one point. And it's very, I want to say it speaks volumes despite it being so simple and so weird. Now, will you get a full understanding of what is going on with it? Well, maybe not. That's really up to how you perceive things, because I think that this has different meanings. I think it could stand for a psychological concept. It could stand for the shattering of the mind. It could stand for a lot of different things, and that is why I'll say that there is no one, I think, perception of it. And that's really, I'll tell you guys and girls, I always am astonished by things that can do that, because it's very rare that you ever see a show that ever makes you go, it has multiple meanings and purposes. And this is only a 7-minute thing. I think maybe even less than that. And I could see how people could perceive it so many different ways. So I definitely recommend checking it out. Again, it's called Until You Come to Me. By the way, these could all be found on YouTube. So it's, I didn't really have an issue finding it on YouTube. I found more so an issue if you want to look on other websites. So that might be an issue, but YouTube, you can find most of these. All right, the next one is I believe, Neon Genesis Impact Band, it's actually called. Now, I say band because if you look it up as Neon Genesis Impact, you won't find anything. You might find imagery of the second impact and stuff like that. But if you look it up as Impact Band, you'll actually get this. This is actually a music video that shows three young girls, and they look like they're really enjoying life and you know, being happy and stuff like this. And again, this is really short. I'm not actually playing any music because I don't want, you know, copyright strike to say, oh, you're using the music from it. No, how could you? I'm not using the music, of course, or like that. I'm not gonna show clips besides this one still image. But this one's pretty cool. This one's actually a just a little mini short music video that I think is actually pretty catchy. It's not too bad, but it's actually very disturbing if you realize what the imagery is portraying in this. I mean, like, honest to God, I saw this as, out of all of them, the most depressing one because it really shows, I think, disturbing imagery without having to be overly disturbing, and that is really cool. I think, you know, I again, going back to what I said about the first one, having stuff like this is always very cool to watch, and I just honestly love this one. I thought this was one of the better ones of the two because you actually you'll understand immediately what's going on here, and you'll get what they're trying to go for, and that is enough that you just go, wow, it's heartbreaking. It really is. But I think it's a really good song, and I think it's really good imagery to kind of know what's going on the side of the world of Evangelion characters, you know, because I don't think you get a lot of times what's happening to other characters besides, you know, Shinji, Rei, you know, Asuka and stuff like that. All right, the final one, and this one's the one that I think is cool, but I think I understand it the least out of all of them, and I'm pretty sure, you know, my friend who subscribed and told me about these things in the first place, I'm pretty sure he can tell me a little more of them. Not that I didn't ask him yet, but this is actually a 3D actual thing of essentially the Evangelion launching. Now, I get that there's actual background story to this. I have a feeling that it's talking about when Unit 1 actually went berserk, like that. But essentially, it does show some kind of cool imagery. I love that this is done in 3D like this. It looks freaking awesome. I'll say it right now. It looks like if this actually became a thing, oh my god, I'd be stoked to watch it right away. But this is one really short one. This is like, I think, 4 minutes long, honestly. And you just see the Evangelion launch. You see it dealing with some human infrastructures like buildings and stuff like that, and some enemies, airships and stuff like that. But really, there isn't per se a lot to explain. The ending will show you a kind of creepy image, and then you'll be like, oh my god, that's what's talking about a little bit. But I didn't fully get it. I get it. Like the other two, I understood mostly. This one I didn't fully get, and I mean, honestly, it could just be that they were just trying to show what it would look like in 3D. That could be what it's trying to do. They could be trying to convey more deeper meaning, and I'm presuming that they probably are trying to convey a deeper meaning because I noticed all of these have some meaning hidden behind them. But I didn't get it, and honestly, I could, you know, that's just me. You know, hey, listen, I saw it a few times, and I was still trying to figure out what is per se happening with this. Is it just something happened, whatever? But this was really cool, no less. I mean, out of the three, I think it's the coolest one visually, but I think it is the worst one story-wise out of the three. The other two are better than that, but that's just me. So, overall, what I'm trying to say with this, I'm actually going to say that all three of these are something that you should definitely check out. They are all really cool little shorts. Again, 10 to 15 minutes is not going to eat most of your time, so you can watch them in a fly, you can watch them all separately, whatever. But they all have really cool purposes and really cool different meanings to them. I think that out of all of them, I think I really dig the first one, which is Until You Come to Me. I really dig that. I think that had the strongest portrayal of kind of story-esque. In terms of impact-wise, I think Impact Bands is actually probably one of the stronger ones because of just what happens in that. I think that's really cool. And then in terms of animation, I'm going to say it goes to, of course, the 3D rendering. So, I mean, realistically, you know, am I going to review these things separately? I am going to review them separately. So, let's do this. All right. So, again, Until You Come to Me, so you can probably see the image come up right now. I would say this gets out of it A through F a solid A-. This is awesome. Until you come back. Impact Bands. If I review this through an A through F, I say this gets a solid A-. Also, that sounds like, well, wait, it's like you're just giving them all the A-. I get that, but this would be like closer to probably an A, realistic, or this would be close to an A out of the two in terms of both visually and both the concept of it and the music and stuff like that. And then finally, Impacts, or is it not? It's not Impact. It's Oh, I can't think of it now. What it is? This is another Impact. I apologize. Another Impact. If I reviewed it A through F, I would have to give it a B plus because I think this one had the least amount of story, but had the coolest animation. So that's definitely why it's definitely not gonna give it. It's not gonna be anything lower than B plus. I mean, this is on the precipice of an A minus. It's really close, but it's just I wish this one had a little bit clearer of a story. I just wish it was a little longer because I mean I love the animation for it, but I felt like it was just more so a showcase of here's what we could do rather than oh here's what actually is a story. Anyways, though, if I give all three of an aggregate score, definitely A minus. I mean, they're freaking awesome. I love them. You'll love them too. And again, Neil, please thank you so much for I said Neil. It's Neil. I want to say it's Neil because the way you have Niall. But again, thank you very much for recommending me to watch these things. I appreciate it greatly, man. And that's it for my review, guys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, the whole nine. And as always, until I pass across again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.